Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, okay.
Here.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll
Hi.
just put them in this little.
Lovely folder that they love signing. Okay, are we expecting 4 board members? Because I really need a budget adopted today. We don't have much time. We got a quorum now? Okay, good. I was getting nervous.
I'm hanging in there.
How are
A
you?
couple of weeks.
Sorry.
That's okay. I think I go here. Oh, really?
Kakona's email?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
How are you going to do it?
What do you mean? You want me to stand up and say, "Stop lying"?
No. What are you going to
Yes.
say? Because it's not factual. I had some data. I left it in my office. But like 10 of the 14 teachers are special ed teachers and reading intervention teachers that should be moving. That is the nature of their job, and they've always moved. There are 5 teachers that don't have classrooms. But remember, the survey that they filled out said that they wanted more collaboration and more opportunity. So we have PD rooms for that. We have small group rooms, and that was the design recommended by the teachers and the students. So these are the things that you need to say about that. What was the other issue?
Parking lot.
Okay, I have an answer for that too.
I do too.
Kokona has been
every day.
monitoring.
I've been there every day. There's been at least 4 to 6 parking spaces open.
Okay, what people may not be considering is that people don't necessarily drive. People are not there every day. And the food service staff parks in the back in the circle because they work off hours as well as the night custodians. So I'm trying to give you some talking points because you need to address it. It's frustrating Kokona.
I'll address it. It'll be addressed. Not as specific, straightforward as
I'm
you
just
are.
giving you some talking points in
Yeah.
case you need them.
Well, in that case, you should blow.
I did write them down. They're on my screen right now. Board talking points. That's what it says. And I looked at the clock. Am, am I on? Ooh, I guess I'm on. Testing. Testing. Should I go higher? Testing. Testing. Okay, thank you.
Let us call this meeting to order. I'm trying to see who's the secretary here. I see Galbert. Yeah.
No, sorry. Oh, it's my fault.
Huddling, siding.
Sidebars. Oh, jeez.
What time was our public hearing? Okay, you got it? Yes, Madam Pro Tem, Secretary, please. Thank you for the take roll call.
Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Brown,
Here.
Mrs. Gasparo, Dr. Hall, Mrs. Sanders, Mr. Teray,
Hello, here.
and I'm here, Galbraith. We're good.
Okay, let us stand for a pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to get right into our public hearing. 2016-2017 budget. And we will give the floor to Dr. Williams. It's yours, Dr. Williams.
Yes, if I could ask everyone on the stage to please join the audience for our presentation. Forgot to see if I have a, oh, I do have a clicker.
Let's do it.
Sorry.
I saw three people.
I knew Mike was. Let's go.
I can't see you, but.
Oh.
I'm just going to give Mary a little here.
How are you there? It is Mr. May. Thank you for coming. That looks a little blurry. Good evening, everyone. Today I will present a brief State of the District report and budget presentation for the 2016-17 school year. Am I too close? I'm okay? All right. Our agenda, we will talk about the condition of our state and its impact to our district, as well as this year's budget, rather. The state of the state. Our governor stated that the stopgap budget that was put into place for schools is a temporary way to get through the general election. There's been a lot of conversation about the additional funds that the district will receive this year, and that information is included on a future slide. But just to give you an idea of where our state is, our unpaid bill backlog is predicted to reach $14 billion by July 1st of next year. As it stands today, we have a backlog of $9.2 billion, $9.2 billion in unpaid bills as of today. And if you want to compare that to last year we were at $6.3 billion. So that's a pretty significant increase over the prior year. In addition to that impact, the teachers' retirement system made a decision recently that causes the state to incur even more debt. The teachers' retirement system, they have a percentage that they determine each year is the percentage that they will receive in interest. And they lowered that percentage. So by them lowering that estimate, the state has an additional obligation each year to pay those funds. For this year alone, that additional obligation of the state is $421 million. So we have a backlog of bills today in excess of $9 billion. We have an additional obligation, a new obligation of $421 million this year alone, and our stopgap budget exacerbated the issue even further. While schools are very pleased that we are receiving additional funds this year, at least our district is. That stopgap budget increased revenue by 12%. And of course, there was no matching increase, or I'm sorry, it increased expenditures by 12%, and there was no matching revenue for that increase. So the bottom line is that our credit rating, which was already poor, is the worst in the nation, and it's getting lower. In June, we were rated at 2 steps above junk level as a state. So how does it impact us directly? We look every year at how much the state owes us from the prior year by the time we have this hearing. So I looked this morning, the state owes us $1.3 million of money for last year. They have made payments of roughly $800,000 in July and August and September, but as of today, not September 13th, today, they owe us 1.3. What is the Illinois effect? The Illinois effect is basically what investors call borrowing in Illinois. Our state's condition is so bad that we are required to pay higher interest rates, even if we're a good insurer. Now, our district in particular, when we issued the bonds a few months ago, we were able to maintain our bond rating, but we paid a higher interest rate, like every other municipality in the state of Illinois, as a result of the financial crisis at the state level. There's been a lot of talk about the $1.2 million that our district will receive in additional funds this year. And I shouldn't say will receive, I'll say is anticipated to receive, because they don't know how they're going to pay for it, but they've committed to provide it. That $1.2 million does not offset the $7.5 million that we've lost over the past 5 years. These are permanent losses. The state has no intention of paying any of these funds back. As you can see, primarily we've lost money in general state aid, regular transportation, and special ed transportation. We've also lost funds relating to special ed categorical grants, but these are the largest revenue sources, so I wanted to highlight them here for you today. $7.5 million. So what is the overall state of our district? This slide shows you every year dating back to 2004-5 school year. In blue, you will see our expenditures, and in gold, you will see our revenue. As you can see, each year, our expenditures have exceeded our revenue, but in recent years, we've cut our deficit significantly. As you can see by the red on the bottom, our deficit 2 years ago was estimated at $4 million. We are anticipating a deficit closer to $1 million once we finalize last year through our audit, and the budget that I present in a few moments will show an even smaller deficit. So what does our future look like? Well, a lot of it depends on the state. Again, we have a lot of factors that are beyond our control that impact us every day, and the state of Illinois' financial crisis is the #1 factor. We have negotiations pending with both of our collective bargaining units. We're still working on our structural deficit and how to balance the budget. There is a possibility that the pension reform will come back, as well as the proposed tax freeze for the 2016 and 17 tax years. So our recommendations as we move forward are to continue with the zero-based budgeting methodology, continue to look at ways to become more efficient, and also to implement a preventative maintenance plan for our facilities so that they last a very, very, very long time. So now I'll jump into our budget for the current year. As always, we prepare the budget with the primary objective of providing the greatest opportunities within the financial constraints that we have. The administrative team spends a lot of time trying to figure out ways to be more fiscally responsible or fiscally solvent. I did meet with every administrator in the district almost to work on this budget, so there's been a lot of collaboration as we prepared this document. So the assumptions that were made for this budget are listed here. We know that property tax will increase no more than 1%. We know that the state will continue to prorate other sources. They're not going to prorate general state aid this year. We will see that increase for 1 year, but the other sources will continue to be prorated and the state will continue to pay bills late. Our federal revenue is expected to stay stable. On the expenditure side, our benefits we know will increase substantially. We had a significant increase to our medical costs, and we expect an inflationary increase for purchase services and supplies and materials. Our highlights are directly related to the assumptions. The local tax revenue will increase 7.75%. So again, less than 1%. Our general state aid will increase roughly 10%. Again, that's a temporary increase. Tuition paid to other educational facilities will increase. Now, we've increased our partnership with Prairie State College and the Kankakee Area Career Center. I believe we doubled the budget for both of these line items so that more of our students could participate. So those are good increases. But we will also see, of course, inflationary increases for out-of-district special education placements. And that's for students that receive special education services outside of our 10 buildings. We also have remaining expenses for the middle school project. Roughly $8.3 million will be paid towards that project. And that includes architect and engineer fees and the remaining fees paid for the actual construction. As I stated previously, our medical plan expenditures increased roughly 7.4%, and more than 50% of our employees, or roughly 50% of our employees, receive that coverage at the full expense of the Board of Education. So the Board of Education is incurring that increase on behalf of our staff. We anticipate that other expenses will increase, other benefits and expenses will increase roughly 3% as well. This slide provides a little bit of additional information regarding our revenue. Our local revenue is our largest revenue source, accounting for 68%, with property taxes being the majority of that. Other local sources of revenue are our student fees, our lunch and breakfast sales, things of that nature. Our state revenue totals $18.9 million, roughly 26% of our total revenue, with general state aid being the largest revenue source in that stream. And our federal expenses, or federal revenue, roughly $4.2 million, pretty stable, but it consists of title grants for low-income and disadvantaged students, professional development, and things of that nature. So we're looking at a total anticipated revenue of $72.5 million for the year. This slide provides the same information in a different format, just showing you how significant the real estate portion is in comparison to the other portions. Again, your real estate tax is your largest source. Your second largest source is general state aid. On the expenditure side, the majority of our expenditures come from the education fund, and the total expenditures planned for this year in the education fund are $51.4 million. Operations fund is another large fund, and that's where we pay for all of our utility bills, our custodial salaries, things of that nature. That's 4.1. Our bond and interest, $10.2 million. This year, that is about $1 million lower than prior years. You may recall from our conversations in June when we refunded bonds that we are flattening that out for next year and for the remaining 20 years. So you see 10.2, next year you'll see roughly 11, and it'll remain at 11 for the next 20 years. Transportation is another large source. Our district spreads 80 square miles, is it? 80 square miles. We have a lot of buses, and that totals roughly $5.6 million in expenditures for this year. That increase is roughly 3% over the prior year, which is what was specified in the bid that was approved 2 years ago. So our total anticipated expenditures, $81.4 million. When you back out the capital projects of $8.3 million, you're looking at $73 million roughly in expenditures. Again, this slide just shows you where the bulk of our money is spent, education being the largest portion of that. If you take out the capital projects, because of course that's not an annual expense, That education piece of the pie is going to go up roughly to 70%. The state likes to look at our budget from a function perspective. As you can see, instruction, roughly 42.5%, support services, roughly 40%. But that's a bit misleading because if you look over to your right, you'll see the payments to other governments at 3.4%. That's what we pay for our special ed students that are out of district, Kankakee Area Career Center students, and our early college initiative with Prairie State. So the portion that's spent on instruction is actually closer to 46-47%. The payment to other governments at 3.4 and the instruction at 42.5. When you combine those two, that's 45.9, so 46% roughly. This side. No, this is the same. This is just a different way to look at it. So this slide isn't related to this slide. This slide is just breaking it up between instruction, support services. So like your teacher aides, that would fall under support services, even though it's part of the educational process. Yes, yes. This slide just shows you by type. And a lot of people talk about the fact that salary and benefits are your largest portion of the pie. And as you can see, the same applies here. Our salaries account for 41.4% of the total budget. Benefits account for another 12%. But again, we have that out of state, out of district tuition for another 5.3%. These numbers would all, of course, increase once you back out the construction for this year. Did I break it? Oh, it's just delayed, maybe? Okay. So here we have our 5 years at a glance. As you can see, again, our revenue is shown in gold, expenses shown in blue, and our deficit shown in red. And that red on the last slide is getting very, very small because as it stands today, we have a deficit of about $500,000 planned for the budget. Now, with that in mind, please keep in mind that we are in the process of negotiating. So this budget will very likely be amended in the next few months. In summary, our fund balance, our beginning fund balance is currently estimated at $41 million. That may seem high to you based on information you've received in the past, and that's in large part because we have not finished paying for such a large portion of the construction project. Our total revenue is anticipated to be $72.5 million, with expenditures anticipated to be 73, for a deficit of $558,921. Again, just want to reemphasize that we are in negotiations and we will be revisiting all of this in the very near future. Be happy to address any questions that anyone has at this time. Yes, ma'am. We are required to go through this entire process again. So we will be having another public hearing, as well as another budget presentation. Oh, I'll restate her question. Will it be presented, will the budget be presented in public again? And yes, it will be presented in public. We will have a public hearing. There will be public notice issued as well, so that everyone can come out and listen to how the budget has changed from what was presented today. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
No, I'm not going to try this. Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Williams, for a pretty clear presentation. That's how I clarify a clear presentation when there's not many questions asked. It's a good job. Oh, no, that was short and to the point. Appreciate it. I want to give the board members an opportunity to provide any comments as they so choose regarding the budget.
We need to actually officially open the public hearing. Okay, and then we can offer an opportunity for questions and comments, and then we have to close.
Okay, do we need a roll call on that?
Yes, we do. We need a motion.
Okay. I'd like a motion to open up the public hearing regarding the 2016-2017 budget.
Moved. Second.
We did it again.
Did you?
It's a race. Now, are there any questions regarding the 2016-2017 budget?
I just have a comment. And this is for the audience that's in cyberspace listening to us. I would just like to say, after looking at the state of the state, that whether you're an independent, a Democrat, or a Republican, I would encourage you to consider what your elected officials have done for you in the last 20 or 30 years and what they're doing for you now, and vote your conscience on whether you want to keep these same people leading the ship of state or not. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. None from the public? Okay. I would just like to say, Superintendent, would you like to say anything? Are you okay? Okay. I would just like to say, again, we have many challenges within not only the state of Illinois, United States of America, within our school district, as many school districts throughout the United States. So I think I'm proud of what we have accomplished as a district under your leadership, Dr. Cunningham and Dr. Williams, to get our budget in a very manageable position. Again, given the challenges. So I want you guys to continue down the path of efficiency. We don't have much leeway in our funds. You know, we still, I think you put it up on one of your slides about education is our most straightforward goal that we need to obtain. And with all the other challenges that takes up our expenses. So it is a challenge, but we are up to the task. And I really appreciate the rigor and hard work that everybody has put forth to make our budget as clear and as concise as it could be, given the deficit. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, so I need a roll call. Oh, okay.
So moved.
Yeah, again.
Second.
Okay, yeah, I did ask questions out, if anybody in the public have questions.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we had the motion to close. Okay, then we had Teray second.
And Teray, you seconded?
Correct.
All in favor? Yeah, aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Okay, this time the budget hearing is closed, and we will proceed with our regular board meeting into public comments. Do we have any? No public comments? I like these meetings.
No public comment.
Okay, no public comments. Okay, we're going to move right into the good news report. Recognition of Coretta Scott King Magnet School and Crete Monee High School award recipients in that order. Okay. Do we need to sit down? Back? We can stay up here? Okay, thank you.
So you're going to stay down there, and, dancing tonight?
I can dance if you want.
Do a dance.
For those who don't know me, my name is Brian, and principal of Crete Monee Magnet School. I was given the opportunity here tonight to share in today's day what is now old news, but is very, very good news. Chicago Magazine has conducted a study, and they took a variety of data and they put it into a matrix system. And lo and behold, Coretta Scott King was identified as the top 10 elementary school in Will County. In looking at what's done over 2012, they did a similar study, and the majority of that study was really based on standardized testing data. And what many educators and the article will tell you is that standardized testing data is pretty much going to tell you how well students are going to do on the next standardized test. So this study took a lot more into account: school culture, classroom climate, parent engagement, student attendance. There was some park data, some map data, a variety of data went into a system. Chicago Magazine hired an independent firm to crunch the data that that they attained, and as I said, we ended up as number 8. Now, I will tell you that this magazine will hang in a frame in our school, as well as my office for many, many, many years to come. It's a proud accomplishment. It's a trophy, if you will. But I will also tell you that we did not need Chicago Magazine to tell us how great we are. I have only been there for 1 year, so I can take a microscopic value of the credit. The credit goes to our students and their families, and most importantly, our support staff and our staff that works tirelessly on a daily basis. They're an amazing group of teachers and support staff who care about children more than I can explain. They work tirelessly. They put in long hours. They came in over the summer. They work weekends. They work late nights. They are truly an amazing group of teachers. And I think the barometer for a principal and probably any educator of any school is, would I want my child to attend this school? And the answer by myself and most of our staff, or all of our staff, would be resoundingly yes. Coretta Scott King Magnet School is a phenomenal school, and Chicago Magazine was only an affirmation of what I think we've already known. So thank you very much for the opportunity to share this with you this evening.
And following Mr. Main, I have the distinct privilege of presenting or sharing with the community and the school board what I think is this is a district award in my mind. Though it was awarded to the high school, or though it was presented and though the high school was recognized by the U.S. News and World Report at the bronze level, the work done in our district culminates at the high school. So when we see an improvement in test scores, we see an improvement in student behavior, when we see just all kinds of improvements, and when we are recognized, it's a recognition that I have the privilege to present on behalf of the high school. But really, this speaks to the hard work done by all of our teachers, our administrators, our paraprofessionals, our cafeteria workers, custodians, and everyone in this entire district. Leadership matters, but our students matter even more. So I am just pleased to share with the community something that's been shared a couple of times already, but formally shared right now to the community and to the Board of Education, the recognition given to Crete Monee High School as one of America's best schools. We've been recognized by the U.S. News and World Report at the bronze level. What does that mean? Plainly, we are in the top 25% of high schools in the state of Illinois. There are only a couple of other high schools in these south suburbs, and when I say a couple, I mean two, in the greater south suburbs and a little bit of the western south suburbs as well that have received this award. So we're one of 3 schools out of many high schools that received it. But again, I contend strongly, though a lot of hard work is done at the high school, and we are not ashamed of this award at the high school, I still strongly contend this is something that we can celebrate as a school community. We did it, we win every day, and I am just pleased and proud to be a principal, but I'm also pleased and proud to be a community member. I couldn't be happier with the education that my children are receiving in Crete Monee School District. And I anticipate the day that we acknowledge all of the wins that we have and we continue to build upon these successes. We win every day here at the high school and in CM201U. Thank you.
Okay. Comments?
Go ahead. Okay. I think it's important that we as a school district recognize and understand that we are an award-winning school district. You know, you see CSK today, you see the high school today. The 6th grade center was awarded. Crete Elementary School has awards. Our middle school was awarded what is called a blue ribbon, and that is a national award that not many schools get. I think it said just a little over 7,500 schools in the nation have received them. When you have more than 98,000 schools in this nation. You know, a little bit over a year ago, a group of reason our community makes the we have in our high school. We have great things going on in all of our schools. And we are blessed to have a standing staff who care about every day, whether it's a custodian, a paraprofessional, care that we says something negative about our district. It's not true. Yes, but we're an award-winning school district and we do a great job with our kids, and we'll continue that. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Cunningham, I forgot to read our mission statement. If you allow me, we'll do it right now. Our mission statement is to ensure that every child is challenged to reach his or her full potential academically, socially, and emotionally as they grow and develop into thoughtful, productive, and contributing members of society. So, at this time, I would like any additional board members to comment.
I have a comment, please. To every student, teacher, employee, every one of you who works every day tirelessly with our students, to every student who comes in willing and wanting to learn, for every one of you that is going the extra mile every day, I'm with you, I love you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Board Member Teray, would you like to say anything?
Stop it, stop it. Keep up the excellent work. And there are many, many good things going on in our school district. There is no doubt about it. There is always room for improvement, and I expect us to keep striving for that. Would love to see us #1 on the Chicago magazine, and I'd like to see the bronze turn into gold. And it takes the community. I hate to say a democratic phrase, but you know, it takes a community.
You hate it?
Oh,
It's a strong word, but
you know,
Noted.
being an old Republican, what can I say? You know,
change.
but it takes all of us. It takes the teachers, the students, the parents, the support staff, everybody working together to make this an excellent educational opportunity. And I want to see every kid walk out the door at the age of 18 or 17 or 19 or whenever they reach graduation with the potential to be whatever they want to be in life, whether that be a tradesman or a doctor or a nurse or a rocket scientist or whatever, or drive a bus, whatever they want to be. I want them to have the foundation to do that. And that's what this is all about, making responsible young adults when they walk out that door. And then keep up the good work.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Mr. Teray and everybody who's spoken tonight. Congratulations, not just to the principals, but to the whole staff and everybody that works so hard on behalf of the kids here. And what I really think is important about both these awards is that these kinds of rankings have become a lot more sophisticated these days, and they really measure how a district responds to the needs of all its students. And, you know, and takes into account some of the different economic and socioeconomic differences between districts. But, you know, from what I've read and heard, both articles stress that it's really a measure of the health and vitality of a district and its ability to serve all of its students, no matter how diverse that might be. And I think it's just a reminder, yeah, do we have challenges? Absolutely. And these are actually measuring how we're addressing those challenges. So, you know, we have issues we need to address, and in our debates and discussion, I hope we remind ourselves that we're really operating from a pretty high foundation of quality here in this district. I'm really impressed since I came on the board, what I see in the schools and in talking to the teachers and the staff and the students and families. So congratulations. Yeah, keep up the good work. Let's go for the gold and go for #1 and all that stuff and keep pressing on. But I think because we've been doing that, we've gotten to where we are today. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay.
And I'll just agree and concur with my colleagues, everyone that has spoken, and certainly just in my congratulations to both principals. And I'm a firm believer, and I will always be, that it is a you, the continuous you. That would include parents, teachers, students, custodians, our safety staff, everyone inside of the educational system has and does play a part in the efforts to educate our kids. And again, we can't do it without any of those individuals. And as you guys say in education, I'm sure we say it in corporate America, there is no I in what? Team. So we're a team. And as Christian, and I believe some of the other, my colleagues have stated that certainly we have challenges like every other school district. And I'm probably a little more in the mindset of exponential growth. So we're at bronze, let's shoot for silver and let's move up. I mean, progress is really about the strides that we make. So again, we're not going to go to Hawaii overnight. We all know how many hours a trip that is. So at the end of the day, the progress that we continue to make, the strides that you guys are making to help to educate our kids along with the other partners, we're very proud and we commend you for the excellent hard work that you're doing. So thank you. Still want to see you dance.
All right. Well, again, I believe everybody heard the passion from the board members up here as far as what it takes and what our kids have accomplished with the help of so many, but it starts at home and it's brought to the schools, and our teachers are at the forefront. So we need to provide them with all the support they need to be the first line of defense, so to speak, for our kids. So I'm pleased. I really feel good about the awards that we receive, given a lot of negative press out there. So this really says what we have as a topic of discussion, good news report. So I just said, keep it coming, and good job again to all. And again, I heard my colleagues up here really enthused about this, really like this is what we're here for. This is what we spend the long hours for, is to see success. So let's keep it going. Thank you. Thank you, the principals, the high school principal, and the Coretta Scott King principal, Brian, and Dr. Hart. Thank you, guys, and all our principals and teachers out there, and all of our staff. I don't want to miss anybody. See, when I start naming names, I forget. Okay, so everyone in the district that had anything to do with the learning of our kids, thank you, thank you, thank you. All righty. Being said, do we have any board updates? Dr. Hall, all I'm saying is she better watch out because this meeting is going to be over real fast. Okay, no board updates, going once, going twice, gone. Okay, moving right along on the agenda, administrative updates, superintendent, oral presentation, info only.
This is just a quick oral update. I was disappointed that we were not able to open the middle school on time. The contractor told me up until the time we made the call that the building would be substantially complete and ready. It was not. In my walkthrough with the contractor, previously discussed items were not addressed, and for the safety of the students and staff members, we had to open 48 hours later. The contractor addressed each of my issues in those 48 hours, and we were able to get into school. And we had, the first day of school was kind of difficult. We had students, staff members, bus drivers, and parents that were trying to get acclimated to the new traffic patterns. It made our buses, and I think that first day there, a little bit late. Since the beginning of the week, our staff members have been parking in the staff lot. I know there's words out there that says that there's not enough parking for it, but the staff members parking there has really improved the parking pattern. And what I've noticed, I've been there every day that I could, I've gone through the parking lot, there's 4 to 5 parking spaces open. So there's plenty of space for our staff. And then of course, there's still room for our visitors on the front part there. One of the other things that I just think is outstanding is our students were involved in the design of the project. And you can tell it when you see the bright colors. I can't wait to see the opening that I have here, coming to a galaxy near you. Mrs. Nash's wonderful sign that she sent out to everyone. It's outstanding, and it states on September 29th, 2016, from 9 a.m. to 9:30, we're all invited for that grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony. We're going to celebrate that expansion of the school. I think the teachers and staff members are still celebrating at this time. They love the colors. They love the outstanding materials that are there. I've been there, and I've seen them and heard them talking about it. They like what they have. They like that they were involved. Not every staff member has a classroom, but that wasn't the original design. We have professional development rooms, and those professional development rooms are being accessed and used by our staff members, and they're being used well. We continue to work towards the culmination, and we expect that to happen by the end of the month, since we're going to be celebrating in there. We don't have any issues or concerns that we need to bring it to you at this time, but we are going to be on them daily to make sure that we reach our goal. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Yes. So,
Me too.
so my question is, you gave, and I'm sorry for being facetious, but I mean, since we last spoke, have we moved in the direction of some of those questions that we had at the committee of the whole? Has any of those measures been addressed?
Yes, we continue to measure. We have a list of punch list items that were sent out to the board, and we are watching those daily. One of the things is I'm in the building now. It usually starts my day, and I walk through to see if there have been changes. The plan was that they were supposed to have the scaffolding down after use this weekend, and it was. The scaffolding was down, had to be down. The ceiling is 95% completed. And that's the big ceiling up there that we were concerned about. They have started working on the steps of the amphitheater. And, my concern was, hey, we have our students in here now. As you work on those steps, it has to be sanded down. We don't expect that you're going to make our classrooms or our building dirty again. So they have visqueen up and around, and then it is collapsed onto the stairwell so that it's not an eyesore for our students or for us. So we're addressing each step. We will have daily catches. We've had some challenges, like for instance, we expected to have our locker combinations a little earlier. The paper said that they would be in yesterday. I talked to Kokona this morning. She has them all, and they're working on it. We wanted it earlier. We're still pressing them, but they're meeting the dates that we have listed there. If there is a problem or concern, we will make sure that the board is aware, and we will take whatever actions necessary to keep them going.
Okay, and I am aware that you did put the punch in our, the board's FYI, so I'm not really so much speaking for us, but, we were publicly broadcast, and I felt like it was important to let the community know, as Mr. Toure indicated a little earlier, for us to be publicly discussed in the meeting in the media rather, for the school not being open. This is, to me, the opportunity to share with the community, or should be, what the circumstances were. I'm not asking for a long dissertation, but something that helps them. They've probably, as I did as a taxpayer, read your information via an email, and as a board member, of course, we had a little more information. But when you have a project this size, there are going to be setbacks, and certainly it was never intentional or purposeful that we would not have our building open. We paid for a project and we expected it to be done. Can you just share with the community some of your concerns or thoughts about why it did not take place publicly?
Publicly, as I've stated, it was about safety. And to give some specific answers, we have a school that has a lot of walkers, and we need to make sure that students could get to the building safely. When I was there on that Monday, there were numerous issues that students could have gotten into, and they could have hurt themselves coming to school. The second way that we get our students into our school is through the bus route, and the bus ring was not complete. It was not complete and safe, and it had to be complete. There were holes in the sidewalk and missing sidewalk, and there were 2 light poles that had I think these screws are somewhere between 2 to 6 inches protruding that were not well protected. And my expectation was that they would be completed before our students came in. We don't want anyone hurt. We're not going to allow that. And if it's not safe enough, we weren't going to have them enter. We had some other issues inside the building with things that were not locked down for electrical. And there were areas that had to be complete to ensure safety, including all phones working and a working elevator that was not quite certified. Without all of those things being completed, we were not bringing our students in.
So safety,
Yes.
top priority. Okay.
And one thing that I will mention, because it was nice of them to be involved, is the union agreed to walk with me and to make sure that any concerns that they have were given to me before we went and sent information to the Board of Education. So the staff and the students were going to be safe before we entered the building. And when we did enter, we had a walkthrough at the end. Being the union president walked through, and she was like, it was done, and I was like, it was done, and we were happy to get into the building so that our students could get safe, could get their education. Safety first.
I have a question for you too. Are you done, Ms. Sanders? Thank you. The safety, there was a safety issue brought up at the committee as a whole about children being dropped off by their parents and getting across the street safely and into the school safely. Have we had any talks with University Park or with our own, with your own administration on how to safeguard those children crossing designated crossing areas or crossing guards, or the University Park Police Department cooperating with us for the drop-off period to ensure as much safety as possible for the children that are dropped off and allegedly running across the street to get into school?
I can say that it's not allegedly. I was out there one of the days and I saw those parents dropping the kids off and the kids darting in front of. What we have done is what we're in control of, and that is we've asked the staff and they have done it. We have moved all of our cars from that the streets there. I think it's, I want to say Olmsted. Is that, am I saying the right
Olmsted.
one? So that there are no cars actually on that street now, so that the buses and the parents can get in there without our cars being there. We are using our parking lot. So that area has been better. I won't say it's 100% right, but it is better than it was on that first day. We will continue to try to work with University Park to see if they can come up with something that would assist us.
All right, and I'm just wondering, where in the front entrance, you have that road that goes into the handicap parking, and there's about 14 slots there. There's an arrow going in and another arrow going in, and I don't understand how you're supposed to get out of there with two arrows going in and there is no place to go. I mean, I'm hoping that can be addressed quickly and we can have an in and an out, you know.
Actually, I understand how they're trying to set it up. They're setting it up as a one-way drive, and as a one-way drive, it's a nice little loop, and that part does work. The problem is when you get to the top portion of the loop, there are two lanes, and both the lanes go straight, which you can't go. Right. You either have to make a left or a right. We need to make sure that those are designated properly so that people who want to go on the loop, they need to go. You're going to go into a field if you go.
I was, you know,
okay.
I was just wondering at my advanced age if I was just seeing things wrong
no,
or
sir,
what.
you weren't. That is.
I parked in there.
He's still trying to get his truck out of the field.
And I was trying to figure out how to legally go out, and there is no stop sign either at the end there, so a stop sign needs to be installed if we're going to exit out there. So just some safety precautions. Yeah, I have a four-wheel drive truck, but I'd rather not try it.
I don't want to see you in the ditch over there.
Yeah. So,
We will get
but
that handled with the architects and the contractors.
just,
because
you know,
it
all
is-
kidding aside, it's a safety issue.
Yes,
And,
sir.
I'm more concerned, of course, about the children exiting, and if we can,
I can tell you that 3 board members who came to see me said the same thing.
oh, 3.
One here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one there, one here, and one that's not quite
Alrighty.
here yet, and actually 4, because one called me about it when they went. So
Just to see how to go get in.
It's more fun being with them. We're in the straight line.
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Did you say that so there was also talk of parking, like insufficient parking, but did you say they reconfigured the lot or?
No, they
something?
didn't reconfigure the lot.
Or it's
There was a discussion about the number of staff members compared to the number of parking spaces. And the principal asked all staff members to park in the parking spot because we were concerned. And when they all parked in on Monday was the first day, there were 6 spots that were still open. And then today, when I checked, there were 4 spots open. So it looks like we have sufficient parking. The same thing we did when we had curriculum nights before. Yeah, they're gonna have to park on the
Every
streets.
school.
For us to build parking enough for those nights when we have, I think it's usually 2 to 3 times a year for each one of the buildings, it would have cost us a significant amount of money, and we wouldn't use it all the time, not even close. Sufficient answer? No, okay.
No, it's-
Not a problem.
No, just, you know, a little coordination with UP would be nice, so
yeah.
they don't get any tickets for parking along the residential streets, you know. And that would be a good thing to do before we have our first parent conference,
Yes, sir.
or the grand opening, actually.
Okay, so, yeah, Dr. Cunningham, get with your team and continue to monitor the safety of what's going on at the middle school with our kids and the in and out entry of the drives and the arrows pointing everywhere. And I came close to having a head-on collision too. I had to stop the young lady. She actually came in from the west side. I came in from, no, she came in from the east side. I came in from the west side. I was going the right way. And it's a do not enter. But I guess, and it says no right turn right at the stop sign. So she didn't see that no right turn. And when she approached the stop sign, she didn't see the do not enter. So opportunity there, okay? So let's really look at that, get with the architect, get with Dr. Clark and the rest of your team to make it better, right? And I do just have a quick comment on the punch list that was sent out. This is me, this is what I'm recommending, that we, and Dr. Cunningham, you submit that punch list to the board on a daily basis, at least until the 29th, on what we have accomplished. If you guys don't mind getting the email.
28th.
Is that the 28th? What is it?
We have the first one on the night of the 28th.
That's the
There's
actual.
separate invites for different audiences.
Oh, that's the other side, the
It's on
28th.
there.
But that makes it even worse because we have some deliverables. I think the amphitheater flooring is not going to be finished till the 27th. That looked like it's going to be an issue. So we need to move this stuff up. If we need to work overnight, the midnight hours, we need to do that. Okay, we can't wait till the last minute. And we know how we have been kind of, for lack of a better phrase, cheated. So let's look at all of those items that we need to make this happen on that punch list and see what we need to move up. Because I don't think the board want to hear on the 28th that we didn't quite get it done. So we have a week to put a lot of strength into what we need to do and just start checking off and marking off and giving the board an update every day. That's how I feel on it. You guys, it's not micromanaging, it's just, yeah, just an update.
So you can bug us consistently.
You guys
for the
are
rest
up,
of-
you guys
we
are.
agree to
yeah,
that.
you guys are updating the list, so just, now we can see it. If we have any questions, we can act accordingly. All right? So let's put a little bit more rigor to that punch list, and you want to change that punch list over to an action item, feel free to do so. All righty. And any more questions with Dr. Cunningham?
No
Updates?
question, but Dr. Cunningham, only thing I want to say is the communication piece. Essentially, my initial statement was just that whatever is taking place, that for as much as we can, make sure that the communication plan is in place as far as updating the community on where we are. Again, I'm not talking about tile isn't on this wall, but to reassure individuals that their students are in a safe, we know the things that, the nitpicky kind of things, but at this point you stated that we're in a safe environment, their students are in a safe environment, but I'm saying we're getting updated on kind of the bric-a-brac, if you will, for lack of a better term. And I would just like to see some consistent communication to the community where you can update them, especially if there's going to be some surprise. I don't think that I just want to be the only one, or any of us want to be the only ones. If you're going to give it to us and it's going to be a surprise, send it simultaneous so that people are aware of it simultaneously, and it doesn't have to come from the media. We shouldn't be surprised. In fact, I meant to ask you guys the other day if you had a system in place that as people are going through the building, and I'm talking about your staff, and they see things, because you know what's going to happen. The report is going to come out. They didn't fix these things, and this is left open. If we could have a system which allows individuals to kind of report these things in so that they're not surprises or something maybe that a kid comes across. But since we're in this kind of process of continuing to be in a construction mode, there are going to be things that even though you walk through the school every day, you're going to miss. But some kid will come past, I don't know, we don't deal with lead anymore, but just something that we should be addressing. And it's fine as long as we have more than one set or how many ever sets of eyes that we would allot. So just some system. I know we have the system in the schools with the survey, but if you could maybe develop a plan, Dr. Clark, and your team, that allows people to know that we're open to receive any continuing, well after the ribbon cutting and all of that. We don't want people to feel like we're done, that we still want to be a part of or them and us. We're very much concerned about what's happening on a regular basis in this place.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I want to just be the caboose here. I would like you to please bring to us, hopefully by the next board, not the next one, which is next week, but October, if you can give us a realistic idea of what type and how many professional people we need to implement this preventative maintenance program throughout the district, and see where we need to go on this. Recommendations from our newly hired professional superintendent of maintenance on what we need to actually have a working preventative maintenance program, and not just one in name, that addresses the issues of not only the buildings but the grounds, and keeps everything up the way this award-winning school district should have it. So is that a realistic time frame in your mind? Something in another month for us to look at?
I can try. I haven't talked to Keith about how. I'm sorry.
I think, even Board Member Touré, I think even before that, I think there's an opportunity for us to have a little bit more conversation as a committee as a whole. We can talk about it then before the next October board meeting. I think you can lay something out for us then, so we can talk about it a little bit more, I guess, conversationally.
I will bring Keith to our October Committee of the Whole meeting.
Yeah.
And we will update you on where we are.
And then we can
If we have a
look at-
finished plan, you'll have it in your hand. If the the plan is still continuing to be worked on, you'll have an outline and an understanding of where we're going.
You see, because the reason I said get it up front quicker, sooner than later, there may be an opportunity at the community as a whole. We can bring it back to the board, maybe a segment as an action item.
Right.
Then we can vote on something. So after looking at it, just say, hey, you know what? Hey, this is something we should have did PM. We should have did some type of corrective maintenance on this part. Let's take an action item and we can, expend some money if need be.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would hope the committee of the whole too would provide an opportunity for the board members to share their perspective on the needs, and what they're
Yes.
hearing from the
Yes.
community and other stakeholders.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
Absolutely.
So
So we're going to take advantage of that committee as a whole.
Maybe some options on, A, B, and C or something on here's what we could do, a guesstimate on the cost and if we want what we want to do. And Dr. Williams, I think, needs to be very much involved with this. So.
And we don't want to.
Actually, yeah.
Head football coach came to us, was that last week? It just seemed like it was
Last
yesterday.
week.
Was that last week? And a soccer coach, right?
Yes.
Very
correct.
passionate about maintenance, basically. And we don't want to sweep that up under the rug because we're really talking about safety too, safety implications. So let's keep this moving.
Yes, sir.
Now I know why we got $500,000 deficit. We paying you big bucks now. Keep it going. Not quite that much. Scratch that.
Mr. Cunningham?
All right.
Just with that question concerning the football field, you gave us a outline that there was going to be some process to prepare the football team as it was, some rolling process. Did that all take place?
Prior to
Yes,
last
ma'am, it
game?
did. Prior to last game, they had rolling, they had cutting, and this week we've kept the football team off of the field. They normally practice on Tuesday nights, but they're just on their practice field now. They're not on the actual football field this week. We aerated, pulled those big plugs out, and I went and I spent some time with Mr. Tobias, and they aerated north and south and east and west to make sure that they got it. And then they were also putting in a mixture of sand and dirt to make sure that it could break it up and that it would be a better surface. And they're also going to roll it again.
So is the
And
soccer field useful as well?
The soccer field is not quite yet ready.
Okay.
They're still working on it. Our plan is to make sure that it is ready by the spring. The water that we had,
So let me get this better understanding. Is the soccer season, and forgive me if by not knowing this at this moment, are we playing any soccer games now?
Boys have boys.
Boys.
The boys play on a football field?
No,
Not
they
yet.
play on the back.
The
Well,
back,
they should
Yeah.
be.
but they're not playing there.
They're not playing there.
Where are they playing for our
They're
home games?
playing for home games.
Yes.
We're actually playing away now. For
So
those.
we're not using our field.
No, not that. We'll have the field ready for the spring to use again, but we'll also need to talk about other options and opportunities, which you've kind of requested. The concern that you have is where we've placed that field. It's kind of tough.
Let's have some
That's what I
comment.
said.
We need to ramp it up, have some conversation.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so we bring it back up in the community as a whole.
Yes, sir, we'll have it.
As a whole. Okay, any further questions? All right. If not, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Moved.
Moved by Galbraith,
Second.
second by Teray. Any questions?
I would just like to ask again, I guess I don't remember when this was brought up, but it's really hard to read these things on their side. There's 100 pages on their side. And, if I'm trying to look for something, all these pages are on their side. Is there any way to scan them in so that we can read them up and down? And I can't rotate them. There's no opportunity to rotate these, so everything is sideways. Is there any?
Can I get
we
with
can do
you?
about this?
can we meet later and see if I can help you with that? I mean, I can't do it right now, but I might be able to help
There's no
you.
way on this computer to do it.
There might be a way hidden.
Well,
I'm not saying there is. I haven't seen
I
it.
had two people
Well,
try to,
I don't know. It seems like it's the weekly.
Okay. I'll see what we can
and
do.
his
to-
other side raise.
We'll
We've been
see what we
trying
can
to
do
do
to remedy
that,
that
but why-
situation.
We've been trying to do this for years before you came. So Terry, tell me we hadn't been seeing that turned upside down. What has changed?
That's the way people scan them.
Okay, so that's human. So whoever's
that's why I read it
scanning
laying
that
down.
particular document or page, can we ask them to scan them appropriately? That's human. That's, because we shouldn't have to come here and try to turn them around. Right.
This is a PDF file. How come we cannot rotate it?
We will.
I don't even see the,
We don't need to rotate it. It should
but I'm
be
just
scanned
saying,
in
but we
properly.
should have that function to rotate. I don't see it. As a PDF.
Well, it's taking me all the way off of.
Mrs. Galbraith, Ms. Galbraith, we'll spend some time with our IT people and we will get that fixed. It's simple enough to fix. It's
Right.
I have
Yeah,
different ways to do it. There's a bunch of different, we will get it fixed.
There you go. Thank you.
I just read them lying down.
Mhm.
I read them lying down.
And that's still,
Okay.
We have a motion on the floor for.
And I have to, I was going to read the, and then they can go. Okay. Yes, just waiting for a little. Okay, for the approved consent agenda, 9A is approve agenda of bills, and 9B is approved date changes for the April 2017 board meeting. That's it for the consent agenda this evening.
Any further questions? If not, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mrs. Galbraith,
Aye.
Mr. Toure,
Aye.
and Mr. Brown,
Aye.
and the secretary's aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Action reports.
Mr. Brown, at this time, I'd like to make a request that we move items 12 and 13 previous to item 11. So following action reports, could we move old business and new business before closed session, please? Please?
So item 11, what is it?
Move 12 and 13 before 11, so the public or anybody else out there doesn't have to wait through closed session for
Oh, okay.
old and new business. Can we move number 12 and 13 previous to number 11?
Okay, there's nothing we need to discuss.
No, just move it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no problem. Can I have a motion to move?
I think I did the
let's see,
motion.
Item number 11 and,
No,
no,
12.
No, no.
12 and 13 before number 11.
Okay, so moved. That's,
Moved by Galbert,
Second.
second by Sanders. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it. Motion carried. You're welcome. Okay, so on the action report or reports, human resource. Okay, can I have a motion to approve the employment of certified staff and reassignment of certified staff? That's all it's showing here. I got to put the motion out there first. Do you have a motion?
Moved.
Moved by Board Member Teray,
second.
second by Board Member Galbraith. Okay, HR,
Okay, here we go. Certified staff employment, Lori Connolly, Tiffany Davis, Dennis Gatherite, Aaron Grahn, Rebecca Hack, Jonathan Hernandez, Karen Marcinek, Jason Messick, Andrew Pendelski, Richard Posey, Elisa Richard, Rose Ringenberg, Robert Rissmiller, Carl Scott, Kimberly Simpson, David Serlak, Monica Swenson, Nasikia Tripp, Teresa Urchel, Angela Verde, and Thomas Williams. Certified staff reassignment of Paula Moon. Certified staff of intent to retire, Beverly Batres. Certified staff leave of absence, Julie Ferguson, Erica Maynor, and Joanne Sheed. Certified staff return from leave of absence, Deidre Jenkins, Sarah Mockamer, Julie Pagliuco, Sarah Valerio, and Jody Vanderzee. Certified staff resignation, Julie Chawley, Ebony Grisby, Kevin Krillick, Mitchell Michalik, Robin Radford, Tara Viewig, and Brian Webb. Educational support staff employment, Angel Avidia, David Burchett, Kimberly Dahl, Ayana Joseph, Holly Mann, Patricia Marquez, Lisa McGinley, Stacy Mitchell, Florence Morales, Marcia Smith, Silver Smith, Phyllis Taylor, Joseph Tukes, Michelle Twardy, and Linda Wright. Educational support staff reassignment, Guy Cummins, Jennifer Kosinski, Kamaya Lewis, Brandon McGriggs, and Gary Ritter. Educational support staff leave of absence, Linda Zurich, Margaret O'Brien, and Kathleen Schwartz. Educational support staff return from leave of absence, Donald Buffington, Cheryl Karsten, and Diamond Reed Washington. Educational support staff resignation, Tanya Anderson, Andrew Davies, Tamala Jasper, pardon me, Ryan Jones, Kathleen Osborne, Bianca Philpott, Allison Place, and Delisa Robinson.
Okay.
Oh, no, he's not done.
Because I'm
I don't think he's done. You're not done, are you? Was that it?
That was it.
I got another page. Okay. Did it come twice?
Do you mind?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you mind going back over the certified staff resignation? I'm on page 110. Could you read those names again? For the certified staff, am I looking at it right? I think I'm looking at it wrong.
On page 110,
Yeah.
which item?
Okay,
Is it return from leave of absence?
let me play catch up here a little bit.
I'm sorry?
Okay. No, let's go to page 104.
Okay.
Under certified staff leave of absence. Page 104.
Yes.
Could you read those names again that you have?
Certified staff leave of absence, Julie Ferguson, Erica Maynor, and Joanne Sheed.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
On page 105, just as an example, under educational support staff employment, Kimberly Dahl, and then it says returning from 2015 to 2016. Why are we listing somebody that's coming back if they were employed before?
All of the permanent guest teachers were released in March. They're released every year, and then we rehire them.
So all of these that say that are permanent guest teachers?
In this
I mean,
case,
it goes on throughout.
right, in the cases where they were released at the end of the year and then brought back, that's what they would say. They're just returning to their position they
Okay.
held.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have this one clarification under action reports, human resource. We have 3 different action items. Is that correct? And
No, it's only one.
so the personnel report. Yeah, that's a board.
Yeah, that's why we got 2.
Okay. So the motion was just to approve that one action item. Okay, the motion is out there. Any further questions? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
You want a few minutes? Okay. Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mrs. Galbraith? Aye. Mr. Toure?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mrs. Gasparo?
Aye.
And Secretary's aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt the Y-17 legal budget?
Moved.
Moved by Board Member Toure,
Second.
second by Board Member Anderson. Do I need any discussion for you? Business?
Hello again, no, I took it off. Hello again. As required by law, a public hearing was held prior to this meeting to review the proposed budget for the 2016-17 school year, as well as to provide an overview of the contents. To recap, the revenue for the year is estimated at $72.4 million. Expenditures are estimated at $81.4 million, $8.3 million of which are for the remaining expenses for the middle school addition. The budget includes a deficit of just under $1 million, and it is the recommendation of your administrative team that the board adopt the budget as presented with the expectation that it may soon be amended.
We have a motion on the floor to adopt the Y-17 legal budget, correct? And we look like we have a separate action item, if I'm correct, to adopt the Y-17 resolution for the proposed budget. And that covers all of that? Got it. But it's showing here to adopt the resolution.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Williams, put all the necessary document, historical budget summary, legal budget, budget executive summary, tentative budget, resolution, the whole 9 yards, certification of the budget, appropriation, so on and so forth. So motion is out there. Do we have any further questions? If not, roll call, please. Madam.
Okay, Mr. Toure?
Aye.
Mrs. Gasparo? Aye. Mrs. Galbraith? Aye. Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Secretary's aye.
Motion carried. You're welcome. Okay, do we have any old business? If not, do we have any new business? If not, can I have a motion to go into closed session for the reason of legal district issues?
Moved.
For review? Moved by Gasparo,
Second.
second by Galbraith. All in favor? Do I need to take a roll call?
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moved by Gasparo. I'm trying to move this, something moving everything.
Who was it moved by?
Moved by Gasparo, second by Galbraith.
Jeez.
Madam Secretary, roll call.
Okay. Mr. Toure?
Aye.
And Mrs. Gasparo? Mrs. Galbraith? Aye. Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
And Mrs., oh, that's me, Secretary's aye. Aye.
Okay, we are now going into closed session, and we will be in closed session about an hour. But after that, we will just come out of closed session and adjourn the meeting. So thank you, public, for participating in this meeting. You so choose to stay and watch us come out. Be more than happy.
If I can make a quick statement, just a reminder, all board members are required to sign the budget. And we have 3 copies for you today.
Okay, have that ready? Can we take in the close?
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Terry, you're more than happy to go in the closed session. Dr. Clark, too, you can.
Let me ask you a question.
lost without the name tag. Right, I don't know.
That's my
So there is documentation of that. Yeah. Just playing this season. Oh yeah. Is he good? Not that good?
I gotta get to the men's room soon.
They all kinds. They had turkey, they had
We
ham,
gotta adjourn.
they had, I think they even had egg salad in there.
I'm glad I didn't do this. I was thinking about doing this.
Oh, is Bill still here? I just had a stupid question for him.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
She's taking
right.
the information. I'm trying to
I have not spoken to her. I will show you what she,
Yeah.
this is the first anybody, there's just been one person that's talked to her. And again, you know me, you know I'm never on my phone, but,
A premonition. You know your neighbor over there?
huh?
Bob?
Don,
Have you seen
I'll
that?
see.
took our computers.
I mean, I will talk to her tomorrow.
It's gotta be pretty gross.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. And,
Well, I used to be on sports.
yeah, I will call you tomorrow morning, or Terry if you're not in or whatever.
Traveling all over the world.
We had good discussions in the Booster Club. It was part of getting that 14 grand that we used to put the initial drainage in the football.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, Bob was on it then.
Yeah,
Right
And I
behind
heard
Seemed real
about it.
civic
and I,
minded.
you know,
Hey.
I just couldn't believe it.
his daughter used to take
He
pictures
brings
of my
up the rear.
grandkids. and photography.
He's my caboose. He's my caboose.
Was he vital?
I just know that every time we leave a
When I
meeting
saw him, he
late,
was
within
just
10
laying
minutes or
there
so,
pretty much,
He's
somewhat
gonna
responsive.
come up behind me eventually, things should happen.
He seemed to recognize.
So, you know, when you go, thup, 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 thup,
You gotta cover me, Sam.
But there's no. Oh,
She went to the computer. As soon as,
It's been a very slow kind of coming back, but no hope.
I'll be right back.
do we need her to end closed
He's
session?
taking his daily
There's
walk
5
on
of
the
us.
court, you'd always see him. in
Actually, no.
subdivision, you'd always
I
see
guess we
him.
don't, but we would have to say that she wasn't
I don't think I
here.
He'll ever really speak again, which must be, I can't imagine how agonizing that would be.
Oh.
Because apparently he's pretty, perceptive.
It's horrible.
But can't
It's horrible.
really talk, can't write.
The only thing, the last thing I heard was.
Can I have a motion to come out of closed session?
Moved.
Moved by Gasparo. Second.
Second. That was a tie.
Either one.
All right,
Second by Drew.
I'll give it to him.
Who was the mover? Go ahead.
Second by Mr. Drew.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No nays. Okay, we are out of closed session.
Right now.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Sanders, second by Gasparo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
80 days, ayes got it. We are adjourned.